Once it's done, it's done. It's one of those things too. It's like when you get married. It's a lot of planning, but once it's done, it's done. You know, you get to relax. What is up, my Lumpias? It's Vanessa, and welcome back to the channel. As most of you may know, I'm a married woman. It's going to be a year in about 2 months. I can't believe it that we've already been married a year. It's so strange. Yet it feels like we've been married for longer. So what I want to talk to you guys about today is about the whole ordeal of changing your last name when you get married. Because I've almost been married for a year and I still have not changed everything. Now, I know that times have changed and not everyone changes their last name nowadays. But me personally, I changed my last name when me and Mitch got married. I'm traditional like that, having the same last name. That's my choice and I'm happy with that. I hope this helps you create your own little checklist, because there's gonna be a checklist of things you need to change your last name for, and also the process, and I hope it kind of puts some guidance around it, because honestly, when I was trying to look up some things, it was very confusing. There was all these different answers to it, and there was no one place to find everything, so I hope this helps you guys. Before we get started, I just want to remind you to click that subscribe button down below. It seems like a small thing for you guys, but it makes a huge difference to me, so if you can do that, that would be awesome. This is in regards to changing your last name in Canada, in Ontario. I don't know about different provinces and also with different countries, no idea. So the order that I went in, which I think was the easiest, was I did my driver's license and health card first. Those are the two things I use the most, so I changed those. For the health card and driver's license, I went to Service Ontario. What you need to bring to those are your marriage license. I brought my ID with me. I also brought my birth certificate. But the marriage license is very important. So when you get married, make sure you get a copy of your marriage license. If you want to change your last name, just make sure that you're going to the right place for the right thing. Make sure you have all your documents that you need, because you need to line up for that stuff, and that takes time, so much time. And honestly, I was glad that I was working from home at that time. I went on a day when I had hardly any meetings, and I went first thing in the morning, lined up so the lineup wasn't as big, and I waited about an hour. I was a little bit taken aback, by the way, with the driver's license and the health card, because you need to get a new photo. I was honestly so jumbled with all the things I need to do. I was just I did not even think about it. When you go to Service Ontario, make sure you are photo ready. I wasn't. I was half awake. I was not wearing any makeup. So just be prepared for that, and also make sure you got your new signature ready. Honestly, I practiced my new signature for a while, once we did get married, but I didn't change my driver's license until 2 months later, because everything with COVID, when we got married, it was the third lockdown. So I had to wait a couple months, and once it opened, I got it, but I was just oh yeah. So just make sure you have your new signature. Practiced FYI about the health card, which was so annoying. Anyone that's vaccinated, your vaccination passport, that does not change even though you change your name on your health card. You will have to call the number on the vaccination passport, and they have to go in and change it for you. I know, it's so annoying. Really, can't it just connect to my health card? No. You have to call. So that's another thing you need to add to your list. So right now you have 3 things: driver's license, health card, vaccination passport. Now you have your temporary health card, temporary driver's license. Now you need to go to Service Canada for a new passport and a new SIN. You're probably asking, why do I need a new SIN card? What is that for? Well, personally for me, I got a new SIN card. I changed it because with taxes, it's just easier. It's more unified. I was going to Service Canada anyway to change my passport. I'm you know what, I might as well do it all in one shot. It's not a big deal. SIN card is very easy. Passport, there's a checklist of things. There's a whole passport application, including taking a picture for your passport. So make sure you do all that stuff before you go to Service Canada. And again, you have to line up. I waited about an hour and a half to get into Service Canada, and I got everything done. Another thing that you will need to change, obviously everyone has their email. Unless you have an email that doesn't include your last name in it, which I think is like a very small chance, unless you still have your high school email. Like everyone had like their MSN username as their high school email. So mine was my old last name, and obviously I had to change it to a new email. The most important thing about the whole email thing is make sure your old email forwards all of its emails to your new one. That way if you get a bill to your old email, you'll see it in your new email. That way you don't need to like be checking 2 emails all the time, which I think is so annoying. So with changing your email though, obviously you have online accounts. Well, like that could be Amazon, your bank account, anything really. And now you need to change it to your new email. Another thing as well that you will have to change, stuff with your work, your car insurance. I don't know how it works in terms of like mortgage. I don't think mortgage is a big deal because then you have to go through a lawyer and change paperwork. That's what I think has to happen, and according to that, I still need to do it, but I haven't really asked about it yet because it's not really a big deal yet. Obviously, when we have to renew our mortgage, then I'll worry about it. But for now, I'm like, it's fine. I don't need to deal with it right now. This is the one that was seriously the most annoying thing to change. The bank. You would think, oh, Vanessa, the bank's easy to change. Like, no problem. You just call the bank. No, that's not how it works. This is just my experience. I'm with 2 banks. I'm technically with one bank. I have like all my investments, my savings, all that stuff, and I have a credit card with that bank. But I also have another bank that I just have a credit card with. So it's nothing too complicated, right? How it works, it's so annoying, I'm telling you right now. With your main account, like your checking and savings, all you have to do is you go to the bank, you line up, make sure to bring your marriage certificate with you. Make sure to bring a new piece of ID with your new name on it. At the teller, they can change your main bank account name. That's easy. If you have any RSPs, any like TFSA, investment, whatever, then you need to book an appointment to see somebody in the little offices on the side. I know. So when I went in, I'm like, okay, well, is anyone available now? And they said, no, they're available another day. I'm like, do I need to come in to see them? Yes, you need to come in to see them. Like, I already came in to the bank to do this thing. Now I need to come back to the bank again. So that's twice now to do this. Like, you would think when you go in to change your name on your bank account, it will like connect it to your investments, to whatever. No. Like, they're all like not connected somehow. Like, you have to go for one and then for another. That was just really irritating to me. I'm glad though, like I have a bank close to me, but if you don't drive and don't live near your bank, I can't imagine having to go back and forth, wait for the bus. So I got my investment thing changed. I met with the person, got that changed. My main bank account's changed. Okay, we're good. You think we're all done? No, we're not. Now you need to call the credit card company to change your last name on your credit card. At least I could just call them. I didn't have to go in, but still, it was kind of annoying that I had to call, be put on hold. I had to do that for 2 banks, not just my main bank, but also for another. And the other bank that I just have a credit card with, I guess they have like an account with you or something. It was so stupid. Like, I called the credit card company and they're like, well, you still have to go to the bank and get your name changed there. Even though you don't have an account with them technically, they have to change it or else we cannot change it. I got all that done. Finally. I'm waiting for my new credit cards to come in with my new last name. These were just some of the things that I had to deal with. Everything else, that gets done gradually, like as it goes. So honestly, I bet there's people that have been married for a while and still haven't changed their last name on some things because honestly, it's just such a process. Yes, so some tips that I have. The first tip that I have is make sure that you have all your paperwork before you go. Because honestly, I think the most annoying part, especially if you go to places like Service Canada and Service Ontario, where you literally have to line up and say you're waiting an hour in line. Then it's finally your turn to go up to the front and you forgot something. Like, that's the worst. I think it's like, because then you wasted like how much of your time, right? The second thing, which is something I did, is I made a list of everything that I need to do for changing my last name. So I had passport, SIN, driver's license, health card, blah, 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 blah. I had a list of everything and I went through my list and checked everything off because I find it honestly kept me at ease. Another tip that I have is try to plan out when you're going to go and change your last name to things. Like if you work in an office, for example, you book off time for you to go change your last name. I'm not even kidding. That's what I did. Because it takes time out of your day and you don't realize how much time it takes. So I would book like 2 hours. For those of you that don't work in an office and you need to book a day off to go to these places to do that stuff, I would plan that out. At the end of all this, is it worth it to change your last name? Personally for me, I'm happy that I did it. Like I said, I'm just traditional. I feel like once it's done, it's done. It's one of those things too. It's like when you get married. It's a lot of planning, but once it's done, it's done. You know, you get to relax. And that concludes today's video of tips on changing your last name. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like and don't forget to click that subscribe button down below as I post every single Friday. Thanks for watching and see you next week. Bye!